Don't become so busy with doing something that you end up accomplishing nothing. Right now, I'm in an era of distraction, trying to avoid my emotions and my reality by making videos and creating as much as possible. And I know a lot of you guys like watching my videos, but there's a huge flaw in that. Distracting myself from an issue doesn't remove it. It simply just postpones it. It's like putting a tissue on an open wound. You cover it up, but it's still there. You still feel the pain. It still feels kind of weird, but you tend to ignore it and you act as if everything is fine, but it's still there. You do it in order to ignore. And one of my biggest problems, one of my biggest issues growing up was running away from my problems. I'm not lying. When it came to running away from my problems, I was a track star. I used to push away all of my issues and act like they didn't exist. And they would soon bottle up. It would cause me to break down at random periods in my life, almost like a ticking time bomb. So, around my senior year, this was after our college reveal, where everybody got around, talked to each other, and we revealed to an audience what colleges we were going to. So after that college reveal, me and two of my friends went out with both of their girlfriends to Texas Roadhouse. I was alone. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, but they did. And then there's this other girl there. So at that moment, I was sitting down with my friends eating. They're all laughing. They're all enjoying their time. And in my head, I was just so confused. I saw them laughing. I saw them kissing. Their conversations. I felt like the odd one out. And because of all the past turmoil, all the past issues, it just destroyed me. It literally made me feel disgusting. And so I excused myself from the table. I walked outside of Texas Roadhouse around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and I sat on the bricks right in front of my car, and I just busted out crying. I didn't want any attention. I told them I would be right back. I'm not the kind of guy that tries to seek for attention in those moments, but my tears were so heavy that I couldn't hold them in anymore. I had to let it out. And that was because I kept bottling up my emotions. And so as I'm sitting there crying out, maybe like 5 minutes later, one of my friends comes out to check on me, and me and him were talking, and he tells me that I can't bottle in my emotions. And at that point in my life, I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just crying and crying. I was crying from things I had going on in the 4th and 5th grade because I never healed. I always denied what happened in my life. And it hurt me because it wasn't just that guy, that 17-year-old guy who was crying. It was the 16-year-old, the 15-year-old. It was the soccer player. It was the bad kid. It was a bunch of different versions of me, all so emotional to the point where I couldn't hold it in anymore. I had to let it out. And I didn't know what to do. So after I finished crying, I wiped away my tears, talked to my friend, and I promised myself that I would stop bottling up my emotions. And sometimes I still do. But it got bad to a point where I just busted out crying. And that's the danger of it. You will never know how much is consuming you until it all comes out. And honestly, my emotions and my experiences, they caused me to resent my life. Because I was too afraid to address my issues, they confronted me. I hated going to school. I hated talking to people. I hated being around people. All because I had so many issues going on I had no idea existed. One way or another, everything I tried hiding came into the light. Like it says in the book of John, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness overcomes it not. I tried hiding my issues from God. I tried putting all of my weight and problems onto myself. I really believed I and I alone must atone for my sins, and I believed my problems were way too heavy for God. All of the iniquities I committed, all of the people I've wronged, all of the regret, I wanted to fix things before God could find out. And like I said before, I didn't like relying on people because I knew it meant opening up. When I was sitting out there with my friend, I knew I had to open up. I knew there was no other choice for me but to confess how I felt. If you're ever in a situation like that and you continue to bottle up your emotions, it's going to come back again and again and again. When the opportunity presents itself for you to let everything out, you absolutely have to. And honestly, the difference now with summer coming to a close, I can officially say this summer was a true revelation. Instead of distracting myself from my problems, but finding new relationships by doing different things and bottling up my emotions, I finally confronted them. I called on to God every single day and I asked Him to help me. And let me tell you, choosing to confront what is in front of you isn't just the simplest thing to do. I became so aware of my problems and I realized it ran much deeper. Like I said before in the story, these weren't problems based on just past relationships or my friends or gut-wrenching experiences. All of my issues came from different versions of me. All along, I was the problem. I tried finding love because I couldn't love myself. I wanted to fix everyone else because they were parts of me that I couldn't fix on my own. These issues and conclusions, they seemed so small, yet they changed my entire life because I sat down with God and had a wise counsel and confronted my issues. I told myself I had a problem and I showed up every single day in order to change that. It was a battle I didn't know I was going to win. All I knew was to fight. And because I didn't give up, I didn't remain in the cycle of denial and depression. Everyone around us is in some sort of stage 4. With that period at Texas Roadhouse, I was in stage 4, and I had no idea. Most people around us are in some sort of depression, and they continue to remain in that cycle because they find comfort in it. I found comfort in bottling up because I knew my problems would be gone for another day. It gave me reassurance that everything was going to be okay because I could live to fight another day. But even after the Texas Roadhouse sequence, I had a lot of different versions of myself that I could say I'm proud of. And I think the best version of myself was what I call the project method or the ghosting method. So what I did was I deleted all of my social medias. I removed all access that people had in my life. I deleted their numbers. I deleted all forms of communication with almost everyone in my life. I'd say 95% of people. And I had a small circle of people in my life. Because once you give someone access, you give them control. And so I imagined myself in third person. I focused on me and I focused on what I needed to change. I talked about changing. I talked about wanting to fix the world, but all along I needed to change myself. I kept projecting and calling out the world's issue to the point where it distracted me from confronting my own. This is why I created and did so much. And this is why I try talking to so many girls. This is why I try avoiding my problems. This is why I do everything else but confront myself. Because I know I have to face the inevitable truth within me that I'm hurting and I need help.